I'm Blake Tyers. I'm the wood cellar and specialty brand manager here at Creature Comforts, and I want to talk to you about Subtle Alchemy blend number 1. So Subtle Alchemy is a series of beers, and the only common thread between this series is the fact that they are blended beers from our wood cellar. So blend number 1 is the first one we blended, and what's really cool about it is that each one of these blends gives you this little snapshot of what's going on in our cellar, these threads we had, and these flavors. We're going to pull them all together, and then that's it. This is the only time this beer is ever going to be made. There's no really recreating it. Then we package it up after it's blended and bottle condition it. And so these have been aging for roughly 10 months so far. It's blended in January of 2017, and then we'll have them for a little while in our tasting room. You can come on site, enjoy it, and you'll drink it here, and we'll serve it to you, and you'll be able to experience all that we have in this bottle. So let's talk about blend number 1. Blend number 1 is a blend of 3 different wood fermented saisons, and that is the one unique thing about this beer that's pretty cool for us. We don't do a whole lot of barrel fermentation. I say that, we don't do a whole lot of primary barrel fermentation. So generally we ferment most of our beers in stainless steel, and then we'll inoculate and transfer to oak barrels. This particular beer is blended between 3 different threads, fermented in French oak wine barrels, and then blended together after some time aging. So the oldest thread was probably about 16 months old, and the youngest is probably about 10 months old. So we used different Saccharomyces for all these fermentations, same secondary inoculation of our house mix culture, blended them together, aged it. So one cool thing about this beer that I think kind of explains some of the flavors you get from it is some surly aging. Doing a surly style of aging is something from the wine world. Basically, we're going to be aging on that yeast from that primary fermentation, and it gives a bit of a nutty, oaky kind of flavor to the beer that really kind of adds some depth to this beer that otherwise is just your normal barley, water, hops, yeast. It's a very simple recipe, very simple beer, but with time and the blend in our cellar, it really creates some awesome depth to the beer, and I'm really, really stoked about it. So, you can see it's a nice golden color. It's about 6.5% in alcohol. Sorry, 6.1% in alcohol. And it's really soft and round, and I think a lot of that body is going to come from the aging and fermentation in French oak barrels. When you age stuff in French oak, particularly when you ferment it in there, you get a little more polyphenol extraction. And polyphenols are the tannins. They are a little thing inside the wood that comes into the beer and adds some structure to the mouthfeel. So in the aroma, you get this kind of bright, subtle note, like a squeezed lemon in there of acidity. But then you start getting more into that earthy, mossy, mushroom, nutty kind of cellar quality that comes with the aging. And it's got some really awesome depth to it because of that. It's a soft, it's a round beer. It's not overly acidic. It's definitely got different little notes in there of all the little wood intricacies, some grassy quality, some floral quality. It really supremely dry. Really happy about this beer. Wanted to make a beer fermented in oak for a while. I'm a huge fan of French oak fermented saisons. A lot of our wood cellar is filled with a saison kind of base. We kind of just play around with it. So this is almost the most stripped down, individually style of beer that we make in here, and then blend it all together to kind of create something that's super complex and awesome. With the Subtle Alchemy series, Melissa Merrill has been doing all of our labels so far for blends 1, 2, and 3. She painted these. She is a staff member of ours. She is assistant tasting room manager and has painted many of our most beautiful labels. She does an amazing job. So it's really rad front to back. We've got all the hands working to make this beer all the way through, not just in the beer, but also with the packaging. So it's really cool to have our family put this stamp on the beer for you guys. So this will be available in our tasting room. Come in, buy it to enjoy and drink here, and can't wait to serve you. Cheers.